feel that could either be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on which way you look at it. But I just feel that the technique that I use lends itself more favorably to the kind of art that I do. So what we're doing here today is not writing text, rather it is a drawing technique where we draw the art forms. Please, can we make sure everybody's mute? Right. So I was saying, so the technique that I use, it's not a writing technique, rather an artistic drawing technique, and it lends itself very nicely to the kind of art that I do. You can see some of my work. With the technique that I do, it is possible for me to manipulate the text as per the requirements of the piece that I'm doing, as per the requirements of my creative expression. If I were to go back to the traditional calligraphy, I feel I would have been inhibited by the number of cuts and the lengths and the breadths and the measurements of each letter and its different forms. However, I feel that not being trained as a calligrapher is sort of a plus point for the kind of art that I do. Which is not to say that I don't have, I have tremendous respect for those who have mastered this traditional skill. It's just that the technique that I use is more is a good lends itself nicely to the kind of work that I'm doing. So as you can see with my work, most of my work is incorporating the Sulus script of Arabic calligraphy, which is one of the traditional scripts, along with Kufi and Nas, and which is also Sulus is also the one that we are going to be looking at today. With this last piece, the text that you see here in orange, Khairul Raziqeen, is the technique that I'm going to be teaching today in the Sulus script. The work that you see here at the bottom in varying shades of green is a different technique. This is freehand painting and a more modern form of calligraphy, which is called calligraffiti. Right, so what I've asked for you to have on hand today is a pencil, some paper, and eraser. And when I say that this is a drawing technique, I want everybody to understand that by no means means that this is a shortcut. This is going to require a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and a lot of effort for whoever who chooses to learn this, which is also why I've asked you to bring with you a learning mindset. The Arabic alphabet is comprised of 28 letters. Some of you, I know, are not familiar with the alphabet. Sorry, someone's annotating here. Thank you. So with the 28 letters of the Arabic alphabet, for those of you who don't know, who are not familiar with the Arabic alphabet, a lot of the letters look so much like each other. They're almost identical with just minor differences. For example, the ba, ta, and sa only have the difference in the number of dots or nuqtas. Similarly, jim, ha, kha are all similar. Similarly, dal, zal, and ra, za, so on and so forth. What this means is that if you know one of these three, you know all of them. Now, in the Arabic alphabet, when we are talking about calligraphy, each letter has 4 forms. So the first one is the standalone form, which is what we see here. These are the standalone forms of each letter. And then there are 3 joining forms, which I'm going to demonstrate in a minute. So on the agenda today is I'm going to use the letter ba as a sort of a demo to demonstrate with an example what the four forms might look like and how they interact together to join and form a word. Then we'll be moving on to learning how to write the word Allah. And for those of you, this is when I would like you to try and follow along with me. If you can't keep up with me, that's all right, because at the end of the session, we will be providing you with a free printable, which you can use to create your own word. So the word Allah is formed of three letters, the standalone form of Alif, and then two forms of Lam, the beginning form, the middle form of Lam, and the ending form of the letter Ha. With this, I'd like to take you to the video example.
I would like to request all participants to please switch off their cameras so that we can view the instructor's video clearly. Thank you. Amna, have you started the?
I haven't been able to access my own video. I've turned my camera on. Yes. Just
Just give me a minute so that I can pin your video and then you can proceed. Or if you want to disable your screen sharing, then you can also do that. It's perfect now from my side. Is everyone?
right. Can everybody see my video?
We can see it, but let's make.
Nikat, have you pinned the video?
Just one more minute, please. Uh, okay. It's okay. We can see the video.
Right. So as I was saying, in the Arabic alphabet, every alphabet has. There
Yes,
was some sort of disturbance.
it's okay. Everyone is required to pin the video on the screen if you are using laptop. Otherwise, if there is any disturbance, okay. You can continue because I'm speaking, so my thing is appearing on the screen. Please continue on now.
Just a minute. Let me just. Right. As I was saying, in the Arabic alphabet, every letter has about four forms: the standalone, the beginning, the middle, and the ending form. So I'm going to use the letter Ba to demonstrate this point. So if I were to draw the letter Ba using my technique, and I repeat, please don't try and follow along. I'd like you to just listen and watch carefully. So this is the standalone form of the letter Ba. This is the beginning form of the letter Ba. This is the middle form. and this is the ending form. It might sound confusing at the moment, but it will all come together in a bit. So as I said, this is the standalone form. And these three are the joining forms when we want to put together a word using the letter ba. Beginning, middle, ending. Now this is when it comes together. So if I were to form a word and bring the varying forms of the letter ba together, this is how I would do it. Beginning form. And then this is the lead in and the lead out for the middle form. Lead in, middle form, ending form. Now, this demonstration is not me teaching, rather it's me trying to communicate the point that every letter has at least 4 forms in the Arabic alphabet. Another thing that I'd like for you to understand here is what I was saying about a lot of letters being almost identical with minor differences. So when you know a ba, you automatically know a ta because the only difference would be the number of dots or nuqtas. So on a ta, there are 2 dots on top. So this now becomes a ta. This now becomes the beginning form of the ta. And similarly for the middle and the ending forms, if we just exchange in the dots. So once you know a ba, you know a ta, and you also know the tha. So when we come to join this all together, knowing the ba, I can join ba, ta, sa. So this is how the Arabic alphabet comes together. So in order to learn Arabic calligraphy, there are 28 letters, all with 4 forms. That's about roughly over 110 letter forms to know how to work with Arabic calligraphy. So this is when I give you a pro tip. When you're working with Arabic calligraphy, this is the single most important tip that I or anybody else can give you, especially if you're using the drawing technique. Ready? So the pro tip is, where the pen turns, it leaves a cut. What that means is, so this is the qalam or the pen of the Arabic calligraphy that we are trying to mimic in our drawing. So if I'm writing a ba, and I'm using a pen, this is the point where the pen turns. And this is where the pen will leave a cut. What that means is, wherever there is a bend or a turn of the pen, there is always a cut. This is a pro tip I need everybody to remember. Wherever the pen turns, there is a cut, be it ba, dal, jim, or any letter of the Arabic alphabet. The second pro tip that I will give you today is to maintain pen width at all times. So what we are doing is with our drawing, we are mimicking the shape or the movement of this pen, which is cut at an angle, and it's also got a width. When you work with the qalam, the width does not change. The width remains, if it's a quarter of an inch, half an inch, it remains the same. If I were to use my technique to write Arabic, and I write a ba, and my hand is slightly shaky and my width fluctuates, this is how it would look. So the width of the pen needs to remain uniform all throughout. So 2 pro tips. Number 1, where the pen turns, it leaves a cut. And all that means is wherever there's a bend, there's a cut. And the second pro tip, maintain pen width at all times. That is what will differentiate your writing from this to this. Let's move on to our tutorial. Now, this is where I'd like you to follow along with me. And if you can't keep up, don't worry, because I'm going to provide a free printable at the end of this session, which you can use to practice at your own pace, in your own time. So remember when I said, what we're attempting to do now is to write the word Allah. So this will be the standalone form of Alif, beginning form of the Lam, middle form of the Lam, and the ending form of the letter Ha. Alif, Lam, Lam, Ha. So for the standalone form of Alif, Alif is basically just a straight line that sort of bends right at the end, maintaining pen width and tapering off. And at the end, just a flick of the pen. Now we're going to do, I hope everybody is able to follow along. I'll repeat my instructions. So one sort of fluid, vertical line down, sort of curling to the left, right at the tip. The second line, following along, maintaining pen width and tapering off right here. The first mark, my second mark, taper here, and a little triangle, which is we're mimicking the flick of the pen. Now, let's move on to the beginning form of Lam. Remember what I said? Wherever there is a bend, there is a cut. Maintain pen width. Single fluid stroke. Beginning form of Lam. Then you lead in. for the middle form of lam. So beginning form of lam, standalone alif, now leading into the middle form of lam. This is the lead-in. Middle form of lam, and then we will do the ending form of ha. At the very end, the flick of the pen, and you should end up with something like this. So again, the standalone form of alif, the beginning form of lam, the middle joining form of lam, and the ending form of ha. Now, each of these letters, alif, lam, ha, all have 4 forms. Today, I've taught you 2 forms of lam, one form of alif, and one form of ha. As a quick recap, so the alif is almost a smooth vertical line, just tapering towards the left with a flick of the pen, maintaining pen width, of course. The lam is actually pretty similar to what we did with the ba, with the beginning form of the ba, just the line is a bit extended. Don't worry if you're not able to keep up with me. Like I said, you're going to receive a pre-printable that you can print off and practice at your own time. So for the last time, these are my strokes. And then when I went up for the lead-in to the middle form of the lam, and this is the ending form of the ha. And this is what you end up with. Now in Arabic, all the letters of the alphabet are consonants, and the vowels are actually something called the haraka. And the haraka are so if this is a letter, pa, patha, kasra, dhamma, that denote a, I, u. And to double a letter and to sort of pronounce it elongate pronunciation, you use something called a shadda. So for the word Allah, which we learned how to write now, the necessary haraka are the shadda and an alif to denote the stretching sound of the vowel. So if we were to put these haraka on here, it's actually sort of a smaller version of this. So even in the pre-printable, I have not included the shadda, but I'm going to do it for you here now. All you have to do is reproduce this bit here in a smaller size here. So you go in with the beginning form of the lam. In the tiniest of hand. You go in for the lead-in. Followed by a tiny little alif that we learned to do here. So one fluid line like this, maintaining pen width, tapering off here, little flick of the pen. So don't worry if you weren't able to follow along. You're going to receive the free printable that you can use and follow at your own time. And with that, I'm going to go back to the screen share. So basically, this is what we covered. I showed you what a ba looks like. And by design of the Arabic alphabet, that means that I've also shown you what a ta and a tha look like. So we covered 3 letters and the 4 forms of 3 letters, which is 12 letter forms. We covered the standalone form of alif, 1 letter form, the beginning and middle form of lam, so 2 letter forms, and the ending form of ha, so another letter form. So we did 16 letter forms out of about 100 plus. Pretty good for 30-40 minutes. We learned how to write the word Allah, and of course you're going to receive the printable. Now, if you were to take a full course and learn how to do this, what would your options be? What would the next steps be? The next steps would be sort of going freehand. I will show you a few artists, and the next steps would be to try your hand at the other calligraphy scripts, which could range from the traditional Kufi and Nasb to the more modern versions. An example of the more modern works, some examples I can show you. So these are some artists that I follow from around the world. El Cid is known for his calligraffiti, which is an amalgamation of calligraphy and graffiti. Ruhullah Ayaten. He works in Persian as well as Arabic. And this is where you can go. So his work is all freehand.
I think your screen is stopped at Arabic Calligraphy Art Advanced.
Let me have a look. Is this visible now?
Yes, it is visible. Thank you. Can you just go through this again?
Right. So I introduced the artist Elseed, whose work is primarily based on calligraffiti and ranges from this graffiti style of calligraphy, and it's all freehand. I really like Ruhullah Ayaten as well. So these are the next steps. Once you learn, this is how you can progress. All this work is all freehand. Now, calligraffiti is not limited to Arabic. There are artists that do this in different languages. This is cryptic. This is another really popular artist that I really like. One of his contributions is an entirely new script. So this is a new modern script, which the artist Wissam Shaukat has named after himself. So it's called Al-Khattul Wissam. He has developed a whole new script. And the purpose of developing this script was, again, for the purposes of freehand art, in order to be able to manipulate the alphabet as per the requirements of your art. This is another artist. Again, this is Arabic as well. So the point of sharing this is that the learning never stops. And with that, I'd like to conclude today's session. I'd like you to give a follow to my Facebook and my Instagram page at Khattartist. The links are coming to your WhatsApp chat group. I'd really appreciate if you could follow Parho or Parhao on Instagram. And before leaving, if you could also fill out a short feedback form, which is also coming to your chat group now. And make sure you follow my mom. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much. And I would like to ask participants if they have any query, so they can ask on the chat box or in the calligraphic group as you found visible. So I will be sharing all the. Okay, there is one question, Amna, that is there any specific way of collaborating art with calligraphy?
I would say that comes with experience. So if you that is actually the reason why I prefer drawing instead of writing with a qalam. And once you learn how to draw the alphabets and all its forms, it wouldn't take you much time to be able to manipulate that and merge it with your art. There are artists like I showed you, who work on, plain backgrounds on paper, on sort of abstract backgrounds like I do. So it's up to you. The sky is the limit, how you sort of marry calligraphy into your art. It's up to the artist's personal style and with their experience. I mean, what I can do is I can give tips as to how I do it, but that would be an entirely different session.
Thank you so much. I have shared the link on by Amna's mother Sadia, or the Facebook link on the group. Also, the her Amna's own page link is on the group, and all are requested to just stay in the group for a while because we will be introducing another session, as well as Mrs. Amna Ishasi will be sharing her detailed full course as well on the group soon. So please do not leave the meeting. If you have any other question, you can ask. And thank you everyone for joining this session. I would like to inform you that this Padhao and Padhao program is solely dedicated to my father-in-law who just passed away a few months ago, and his name is Sayyid Khurshidul Hasnan. And I would like to all of you to remember him in your prayers because he has just instilled this love of education and promoting education, and it's very important to give credit to him because whatever we are here is just because of him. So thank you so much. And yes, Amna, there are a few questions that are you taking any online courses, and is there any online course, please?
I do online sessions, and I will, if there are interested people, if there are enough interested people, I will announce my online course on the WhatsApp group. So if you're interested in attending a course with me, just stay on, and you can talk to me over there.
Okay, the group is now open for all the participants. They can type in the question, and if you have any query, of course, we had a very short time today, just 40 minutes, and everything was not is not like this is such a it's such a less time to cover everything in such a small time. But I'm really glad that Amna Jazi has taken out her time and shared important tips there. Also, we have. The detailed courses announcement will be done on the group, so I would like all of you to stay in the group and for more updates. And also I would like to request all of you to fill the feedback form so that we can know what are the demands and what are the further we can do to improve our sessions and bring more to you. Okay, there is another question: that are there any templates available for different script? I think there will be. Yes, Anand?
Uh, I would say templates are shortcuts. I don't provide templates. I do courses. I teach. With the artist I spoke about who has invented his own script, the Khatul Wissam, you can follow him, Wissam Shokat. His script you can learn very easily by his sort of because he does the entire alphabet in his script and posts them on his Instagram. So you can have a look there and you can try and learn it. I haven't used templates for my learning, and I don't provide templates for my students. That is not the way that I encourage learning.
Okay, but I think you will be sharing one, right?
I will be sharing the sort of I will share a free printable. I can show you. I can show you if we share screen one more time. I can show what I mean.
Okay, please.
I can show the free printable here. Just a minute.
All of the parts, I'm really I'm really sorry that I'm just bombarding the group with different Insta links because, of course, because as a founder of Parho and Padhao, we need recognition from different people from different countries. We are working for a cause, so we need to spread the word, and we need more people to come forward and share their ideas and collaborate with us. So I'm really sorry if you feel like that I'm posting too much.
So
Okay. Okay.
this is the free printable that you can that you can print off and practice writing the word Allah, and it will be shared on the WhatsApp group. Can we direct the remaining questions to the WhatsApp group now?
Yes, please. So, dear participants, if you have any other questions, you can just post it in the group in the because uh, we have short time left. So, I would like to request if you have any other question, you can post in the group so that Mrs. Amna Jasi can answer that. And once again, you have written your name beautifully, dear Amna. There is another comment for you. And Jazakallah khair Kaseera for a lovely session. And thank you so much for the wonderful session. We really, really enjoyed it. And I have no words. I have no words for conducting such a tremendous and such a successful event. And also, I would like to congratulate your mother and father who is attending this session that you have raised up a wonderful daughter.
There's a question, are we going to learn different scripts or just Arabic alphabets? So when you say Arabic itself, there are countless scripts. The one that I've shown you today is the traditional Sulus script, which is only one of the other traditional scripts as well. There are many Arabic scripts. My teaching is currently limited to the Arabic language at the moment, because that's all that I have learned. I would like to expand my learning in future. I can do other scripts as well, but at the moment, this is the Sulus script of the Arabic alphabet is what I'm offering. They've got a couple of questions about the thickness of the pen. So, like I said, I don't use the pen because this is a drawing technique for artists rather than learning how to do calligraphy. Mm, well, you can adjust the pen width according to your drawing. So, for example, if you've got a huge canvas and you want to draw in a larger font, you draw broader, and if you have a smaller canvas, you draw narrower. Um, Is that it? Are there any more questions? You're welcome, everyone. Right, I think that's it for the questions. Thank you, Nighat. Thank you so much for the opportunity and the lovely words.
Thank you so much, everyone. And with this thank notes, I would like to end the session. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.